welcome to all of you entrepreneurs, light workers, spiritual truth seekers, and anyone tuning in to this video today. I am beyond excited to chat with my mate Leslie. So let's dive into this divine rabbit hole immediately. Wait, first, guys, make sure you hit subscribe so you get all the gold coming out of this channel and all the wisdom that's coming from guys like Leslie well into the future. We've got 50 big days ahead. All right. And there's always something special for those who stay at the end that you're not going to want to miss. All right. So let's get into it. Leslie, welcome. First things first, I don't know if you realize it, but I never am going to forget or miss the significance of the first time we spoke. I was in a pretty dark place. I came across your post and that made me a little bit darker, I have to admit. I'll start. You called me a demon. Wait, no, you didn't. I thought you called me a demon. Do you remember that?
Actually, I do. I do. Of
Unwrap that a
course,
little bit for us, mate. Let's get your perspective on it.
yeah. So at the time, um, I was under the spiritual influence to post something that I typically don't post. And I'm typically the type of believer, I don't like to be confrontational, but as of lately, the Lord has been speaking to me in a very unique way. And I felt something and putting an impression on me to grab a post from somebody who was a pastor, but the post was very abrasive. All right. And the post said, if you're offended by the Bible, you have a demon. And when I first saw it, it kind of hit me too. But then I realized that there was so much truth to it. And when I posted it knowing that there would be uh, some offense, um, but with a good heart. And God took care of it from there. You responded. We got a chance to talking. Um, you understood my position and where my heart was. And we built an amazing relationship as a result. It was divine. We got a chance to pray together, um, to really connect in a unique way, something that would not have happened if the positioning of my heart was not right. And I think a lot of times that's what makes the difference. Um, People are willing to hear if you care about them more than you care about yourself.
Yeah, nah. Yeah, Leslie, there's more to it. You've been too humble. So I'm going to go a little bit further here and say, there's been a sequence of events since that day, Leslie, that have really led to my life kind of getting back on track, if you will. Um,
Mhm.
I think one of the things was when you told me that you'd gone to your brotherhood, is it Leslie, your brotherhood, asked them to pray for me, and I've absolutely felt that power ever since. Um, so that story needed to be said. Let's move along. And now, my friend, and let's hear about you. Okay. To me, Leslie, you're a light worker. You're God's warrior, my friend. Now, I know that you're amazing, but here's the thing. Most people still think I'm a straight up lunatic. So why should people listen to you?
Uh, so, well, for one, I've been around for quite some time. And the core values of our company at Team Genius Marketing is number one, we're faith-based. We believe in Jesus. We pray for, with, and over our clients. It is more important to us that our clients understand what it looks like to succeed rather than whether or not they do business with us. Um, we want to position our clients in the best position possible, whether they can afford our services or not. And ultimately, I don't think you'll meet too many um, founders or business owners that will spend, 2 to 3 hours on the phone with the client praying with them. That's just something that we do. And of course, we're led by the spirit in those instances to do, but it's just something that I don't think a lot of people are out there doing.
I agree. In fact, we're still trying to get rid of this whole scarcity mindset. I think the world's changing though, Leslie. I think because of guys like you, that the world's changing a bit. Um, all right. Well, you know, let's break it down. What makes your work, Leslie, different from
Hmm.
every other marketer out there?
Yeah.
Marketing is one of those things anyone with AI and an idea of copy and pasting could do, right? So what makes you different?
Yeah, I mean, anyone can do it, right? Um, but it's never about what you do, it's how you do it. And here at Team Genius Marketing, what makes us different is our Genius Growth System. Um, and it's basically laser focused on helping home service businesses like roofers, plumbers, electricians kind of cut through all the noise and get their phones ringing and ringing with real qualified leads.
Beautiful. Okay. Um, and what's the secret sauce, mate? What's the secret sauce? What makes you um what's the thing that makes you guys stand out over your
Yeah.
competition?
I'd honestly have to say proprietary software. We've developed a number of software leveraging AI that automates processes, speeds up onboarding, and automates the entire process of what usually marketers struggle at in order to help our customers get the best results. But that way, every strategy is customized to their need, backed by data and designed to help sustain the growth over time. So that way we can take them from maybe 1 million to 50 million.
Nice one. And when people work with you, Leslie, what kind of transformation? Because we're here to talk about transformation, right?
Hmm.
Most of the
Hmm.
time, if someone comes to get a business, get help from you, um,
Right.
they're looking to transform or they're going looking to evolve. They're going and looking to go to the next level, right? So in terms of
Hmm.
transformation, with Leslie, my beg your pardon, in terms of transformation, what can they expect from your business?
So, I mean, I would say my reputation precedes itself. If you look at reviews or people's experience with me online, you'll see that it's more than just generating leads. They see peace of mind. They know their marketing is handled, so they can focus on doing what they love. And on top of that, they know they have a place that they can go to where someone's going to be completely honest and transparent.
Well, some people think marketing is just shiny ads and empty promises, Leslie. So how do you respond to that kind of cynicism?
Well, marketing done poorly can kind of feel that way. I would agree, Rory. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're doing it the wrong way, you're going to feel poorly about it because you're not going to get results. But the right marketing, right, rooted with integrity and value, is all about creating human connections as well as building trust and customer loyalty. So if you're doing that in the processes that you're taking, then you're accomplishing your goals.
And what do you say to business owners who've tried everything, still feel stuck? They spent 2K a month with the last agency and realized the company's ads were about as effective as my daughter's reasoning when she was three. You know?
So it's not about trying everything, right? It's about trying the right thing. Our Genius Growth System really pinpoints on what works. So you no longer got to spin the wheels. if you're a home service business, roofer, electrician, plumber, landscaper, if you do anything with home owners, there are particular things that you want to have in place. And this is called an omnipresent approach. And we look at that and we want to be able to maximize your customers' engagement, give them an amazing experience, show them why that you're the best in the marketplace, and keep them nurtured, even if they decided not to do business with you. Next time, they know that you are, and they'd be willing to refer you, even over the people that they've recently done business with.
Yeah, and you know what, Leslie? I am going to kind of speak to that a little bit here. There are a lot of like pop-up marketing agencies out there, man. Like, and I can see them every day. You want to know how I know? It's because people are literally out there preaching on Facebook, right? Pushing business, business, business the whole entire time, which is the first failure, right? No
Hmm.
one cares about business. People care about people, right? But you can
Hmm.
see these guys out there banging their heads against brick walls like they must be, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And they're not getting any engagement on any of their posts, and they're talking about this amazing marketing system. Like it's outrageous that people think that they can still be doing that in this day and age where everyone's watching you. You're pushing a marketing
yeah,
system, but no one's engaging with your content. Like,
right,
you know, to
right.
me, that's crazy, right? In fact, I've even reached out to to one or two of these guys before and said, "Hey man, like, you know what you should be doing a little bit more of, 70-30 sort of thing, 70% of the
Hmm.
time, showing who you are, showing your lifestyle, showing
Yeah,
you're actually enjoying your life, you got a family and stuff like that. And then, talk about your business 30% of the time. Here's a couple tips." And then they continue to come up on the feed and I'm like, I've changed nothing. The first thing you got to be doing, you've got to be teachable first of all, or you're never
yeah,
going to evolve. And so I absolutely get the omnipresence thing. It's something that I heard from Gary Vaynerchuk a very long time ago, actually.
yeah.
And it's about being present on across multiple platforms, but it's more than that. It's about being present in a human capacity. So I really appreciate you talking about that.
Yeah, if I might not add on that. So we always consider the audience in reference to our positioning. Obviously, our clients are not on social media. They don't hang out on social media.
Mm,
These guys are out and about Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and therefore
mm.
their business typically operates in complete isolation from their social life, unlike an entrepreneur or a digital creator or somebody like you and me who run businesses where our social brand will actually help our business. So in the case of you and me, 100%, you want to be very mindful with the content you're putting out. And as you can see, I rarely post things about my business. It's more so personal, trying to build relationships with real people, and because that's really where the partnerships happen. But in regards to, these people, a lot of it is lack of training and just lack of understanding. They want to do well in business, but they just don't know how. One of the biggest things that we learned early on was affiliate marketing, right? Was learning how to grow a team, build passive income, and show people how to do it. And we were able to do that, um, doing it the hard way, right? And what we've noticed is anytime someone is doing it the wrong way, it's not that they want to do it that way. It's that that's the only way they know how, and no one has ever taught them. And even if someone has tried, they have a limited mindset, and they believe that nothing's going to work except the wrong thing that they're doing, which is never going to work. So it's a rabbit hole, like you said from the very onset, that people get themselves into where they blame social media, or they blame the coach, or they blame the marketer. But really, the issue is most often themselves, because you chose the wrong person to partner with. You didn't do your research. You didn't know what it takes in order to succeed. You didn't go and find the right mentor that's actually succeeding within your niche and say, hey, who are you using? Because for every successful business owner, there's a marketer that's successful behind them. And if you found out who that person is, now you know who to partner with.
Why do you always have to make me feel judgy, Leslie? Do you know what I mean? For just being such an amazing man. You know? Anyway, all right. So what do you say to people, Leslie, that um, have this idea that marketing is manipulative? How do you flip that narrative for our audience?
Um, what do you mean in terms of what, like,
Um,
what do you mean? Can
well,
you kind of?
yeah, I can speak to it a little bit.
Mhm,
Buy a, I mean, this is probably a bad example, but I'm thinking
mhm,
Jaguar, right? Even though the last Jaguar ad was absolutely torn to pieces.
uh-huh,
But generally, Jaguar launches an ad. Someone's driving around, flying over, in having the most amazing life ever. Everything changes for them in the space, for the buyer of the Jaguar in the space of 5 seconds. Um, you know,
mhm,
life's just going to get better because you have a great new car. That kind of online kind of, and even to the point, like let's say Smirnoff vodka, um, billboards in the middle of a shopping center where there's young kids walking through. That kind of people
mhm.
who have that
So
perceptive, which is kind of,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. So I would honestly say that true marketing isn't manipulation, it's a service. But those people who believe that it's manipulation um, don't realize that they manipulate people and market as well. Because if you think about it, we're all suggesting things to our friends. If we bought a nice jacket and our friend says, hey, that's a nice jacket, we're going to say, hey, I got it from so and so. You can go get one yourself. Well, you just manipulated that person. If you want to go to this level, and so as marketers, all we're doing is using the power of suggestion. It's all about presenting solutions to people who genuinely need them. And so if you understand this psychology, then you'll never sell anyone that doesn't need it. And so marketing and sales often go hand in hand because it's marketing is presenting the content and sales is then taking that content and transforming it into a conversation where you're then building a relationship with that customer. So we're a part of that front end of the funnel that drives the ideal customer to to our client, and then we nurture them to make them understand why they should never go anywhere else. So truly, if that's manipulation, then call it what it is if that's what how you feel, but then we're all manipulative if that's the case.
yeah, and that just speaks. That's very wise, Leslie, and that speaks to something that my mentor George said to me the other day. He said, like, if you think you're gonna get, if you're looking around everywhere for a scam, you're gonna get scammed. You know, he goes, I never get scammed because I've never been scammed. Don't even think about being scammed. Like, just it doesn't happen in my life. And it was really powerful that you kind of suggested the same thing here. Um,
Yeah.
so what do you say to entrepreneurs who think they can, DIY their marketing to success forever?
Forever, maybe not, but initially, maybe. I mean, there are some things that you can do depending on the niche that you're in, right? If you're an entrepreneur and you have an insight on, um, and it depends on your product, your service, right? But let's say you're an entrepreneur, and you have an insight on um, social influencing. You've built relationships with other social influencers. Well, that's something that you can quickly leverage to give you a quick return on your investment. But my roofer, my electrician, my landscaper, my plumber, he doesn't know any influencers. He doesn't have access to this. So, and plus his audience, the people that are spending money with him, they're not um uh they're not expecting that, they do business with him as a result of him dancing in his work uniform, right? It just the marketing has to align with the customer and what they would expect to see for that type of business. And so we keep it simple. And that's really what's important. It's not about just doing anything because you need to do something yourself. It's about doing what you need, what works for your industry and what's going to help you get the results that you need, right? And as long as you're focusing on those things, you're going to get good results. Think to yourself like this: if where 80% of my customers finding me, or where would they normally find me? And you focus in that area initially and build from there by creating other channels from there. It's always going to be 80-20 rule. 80% of your customers are going to come from one area, and then 20% are going to come from another area. You can focus on those areas after you've perfected one area.
Righto. Well, that's yeah, very wise. Yeah, I'm just feeling a bit small at the moment, Leslie, with these answers. Okay, like I'm trying to catch you out. Yeah. All right. So, all right. Okay. Well, that leads on to the next thing. What do you say to what's your message to businesses who think they're too small to compete in their industry?
So if a client feels like they're too small, um, I would say that they should really get a coach and understand what it takes in order to succeed. A lot of it is your mindset and how you perceive yourself. If you believe you're going to fail, you will fail. A marketer will not be able to help you win.
The flip side, okay, um, if you've got a ridiculous ego like I did, and like, and this self belief, you think it's self belief, and you're going it alone, and you're banging your head against a brick wall. Um, you also need someone to guide you, right?
Yeah.
We all need guidance, right? So
Hmm.
you know, essentially that's all marketing is, right? I don't know how to do something. Okay. I don't know how to promote my business. How do I do that? Who's going to do the right thing by me? Who do I find to do this for me? And then if you're a good business owner, you might be able to learn how things are done, SOP it, and maybe you won't need someone forever to do that. But I would suggest, why would you ever need to SOP that when someone's doing a great job for you? So, which leads to the
Yeah.
next thing. Um, when someone says, Leslie, I can't afford marketing right now, how do you
Hmm.
show the cost of not marketing?
So I would say marketing is not an expense, number one. Marketing is an investment. If you look at it as an expense, and that's the first way I know if someone is worth doing business with, is how you ask me questions, how you talk to me. Because if the first thing you say, how much, I understand you don't, I know immediately that you don't understand what it takes. Because every business should look at marketing as a necessity, not as an expense to their business. The cost of not marketing is far greater. Missed opportunities, stagnant growth, and a business stuck in survival mode because, God forbid, if Google shuts down today, you won't get any calls. You've never built a list. You've never nurtured anybody. You have no automations in place to simplify your processes. I mean, most businesses are set up to fail, even today.
Yep. And I'll add to that and say, because your competitors are, man, that's what I would say. Your competitors are doing marketing. So if you're not evolving with the times and all your competitors are doing marketing and you're not, how are you going to win? You know?
Impossible. It's absolutely impossible.
Okay. So what's your advice for entrepreneurs who are just overwhelmed with all the platforms, tools, different strategies out there, Leslie? Like, you know, Gary V says this, Ty Lopez says this, the new guy out there says this, all these different things to try. People just get a bit crazy and stuff like that. Just going, well, who do I listen to? Who do I trust?
Well, for one thing, um, stop the shiny object syndrome. You could essentially become a millionaire even without a laptop or a phone. Most people forget that there was a time where there were no mobile phones and there was no computers. And there were many millionaires who worked really hard. But what we expect is we expect easy plug and play solutions. We expect that someone is going to solve our problems for us. And ultimately, the problems are almost always internal. I find myself as a marketing agency or marketing agency owner is I find myself turning more people away than actually the people that I service. And I don't do it grudgingly. I just know, depending on where your mind is going to depend on the complete success of our marketing strategy for you. And it's unfortunate that that's the way that it is, but it is because there's been people who have succeeded, but because they didn't know that they were succeeding, they canceled their plan. I see it all the time. There are people who are beginning to do well, but because they lack understanding and they lack patience, they fail themselves. A perfect example of this is our journey with Facebook ads. Running Facebook ads for home service business is completely different than running ads, Facebook ads for a marketing agency. And so we wanted to perfect driving new leads to our business. We knew we were able to do it substantially for our clients, but we struggled with getting our ideal audience, ideal clients through Facebook. We failed and failed and failed to turn the ROI. But if we didn't keep persistent, we wouldn't have been able to more than double what we did last year, primarily just because of Facebook ad. And one might say to themselves, hey, couldn't you have gone another route? Sure. But when something clicks for you and you can leverage it, it does all the more for your ability to exponentially grow that particular channel. Because all we need to do is learn now how to scale it once it's turning an ROI. And that's when you understand the logic behind marketing. It's never you're never as you're looking at it's almost like rain in the sky. You first see a cloud in the sky and you recognize rain is coming. You recognize the wind and you say, this wind feels like rain. You you smell the air and you go, yeah, rain's coming. And before you know it, rain is here. But what people tend to do is the wind comes and they go, oh, that's not rain. Of course it's not. Of course it's not. Doesn't happen that way. If that was the case, then we'd all get rained on at any hour of the day and we'd never know when it would come. But even the forecasters know when rain is coming because even it has a pattern. So, what we need to be doing as entrepreneurs is looking at what the patterns of success actually look like. And that's what we try to help people understand. There's a pattern of success. There are steps that you take that require you to implement in order for you to be able to create a building block that's going to help you succeed.
Hmm. What do you say to someone who's lost their spark, Leslie, the passion that got him into business in the first place?
If you lost passion, first of all, it has all to do with your why. If you're not passionate, you don't have a strong enough why, and you need to go back there first because otherwise you'll jump into a bunch of things and you'll always quit, and that's going to be a waste of your time. So, in order for you to be focused, you have to develop a why that is bigger than you, bigger than anything that you could have ever imagined. Focus on that because there won't be any hurdles that, um, respectively, will be above that thing, right? Because if you're the higher your why, it doesn't matter how high the obstacles are, your why will always be above the obstacle. So focus on your why, and develop a why that is bigger than you, that creates passion in you, a desire that will take 10, 20, 30 years to fulfill.
What's the most? All right, Leslie. So let's talk about some of the tough times. If you could go
Yeah.
back to the moment you almost gave up on your dream, what would you say to yourself? And what would that version of you think about where you are now?
You reach those moments all the time, forks in the road. If you, from your first deal to your first 10K month to your first 50K month, these are all, um, you know, what do you call, these are all points in the road where you have to start making decisions differently than you did before. So I always tell myself, or I started to tell myself recently, this storm will pass.
What's the most
The dream that you,
Oh,
yeah,
sorry. You keep going, Leslie. I think you had some more.
I was gonna, yeah, I was gonna say the dream that you're chasing, if it's a real dream, it's worth the pain. And God has a purpose, even in your waiting. So as you're waiting, wait patiently and with hope and in thanksgiving for the little seed that you have as God is working it out in your favor. Because hard work always pays off. It's not that hard work, and if you ever see someone who worked hard and it didn't pay off, it's because they weren't doing the right thing. But as long as you're doing the right things, hard work always pays off.
Now, you'll find your way there. You might have to fail forward for a long, long time, and then just be ready to quit, and then someone will come along, and that's how, you know, that's how I think God spoke to me. He said, "Look, mate, I'm going to put you right back at square one until you realize you can't do this without me and then without help."
Mhm.
Um, and my mentor recently told me, he said, "Thank God for the lesson, man."
Thank God for the lesson. Praise God.
Um, so tell me about a time, Leslie, when you hit rock bottom and the decision you made to pull you back.
Um, Personal or business wise?
You can speak to either, my friend. You don't even have to speak to it if you don't feel like it as well.
Okay.
But I think
Um,
people need to see that side that know
yeah,
that people are human, man. We all have our rock bottoms, I think. Whether
yeah,
in business
yeah,
or, in life.
yeah, yeah. Um, I've had several rock bottoms, but one in particular um, had to have been in '05. I was young, dumb, energetic young man, but had no understanding, no wisdom, no Jesus in my life. I knew. who God was, and uh, I knew His word, meaning I knew the stories. I could talk about how awesome God is, and I love God by mouth, but I didn't love God by action. Um, and I was married, but um, my wife and I were drifting apart, and um, I was about to go through one of the worst periods any man would have ever wanted to experience within 30 days. Um, I lost, so apart from being estranged or having a separation with my wife for an entire year, that same month, my car was stolen. I had a truck, white truck. It was stolen while I was at work. Um, and then I broke my jaw in 7 places and needed reconstructive surgery. My son was taken from me. I had to go live um, so far away from him that I couldn't be there for him on a daily basis, and everything just completely torn and like completely torn upside down. I mean, if there's anything that I would never wish on anybody was what happened to me in '05. And I felt like Job. I felt like Job in the Bible. And I cried out to God initially. And for 8 months, I cried and I prayed. Why me? Why me? And then something shifted. I wasn't in, and even still, it's funny because like I said, I knew God and I was trying to draw nearer to him, but I truly didn't understand what the relationship was like, even still, because I gave up. I lost hope. In that time where we were separated, in the beginning, I was very strong, but then I lost hope because it was just taking too long. But our good and gracious God was very promising. He was so patient with me. And even though I had given up, he shifted my mind and my prayer because my prayer was no longer, God, why me? Please bring her back. It became, Lord, she's yours. Bless her. Keep her safe. I'm the one who's responsible for her life and her sanctification. You've positioned me as the priest of the home, and I'm responsible. At the end of the days, you're going to hold me accountable for what has happened. Have mercy on her that she would not go into the flame of eternal flame. She's a servant of yours. She's the one who drew me closer to you, Lord. Right? And so um that changed everything, I believe, in the spiritual realm. I would not have known it, but I know it now, having looked back, because a year later, about 11 months from the time, well, about 12 months, maybe 12, 13 months from the time that we were separated, I got a phone call, and it was her. And she said, "Hey, is it too late for us?" And I said, "Heck no. Where are you?" And we've been together ever since. And we've been madly in love with each other since. And I can tell you that um, God loves us that much that even when we've given up on Him, even when we've given up on Him, He hasn't given up on us. And that experience has taught me no matter what I'm going through, doesn't matter what it is. Somebody sends me a letter, they're suing me. That letter disappeared. Somebody owed me money and didn't pay. Money ends up in my account. Somebody doesn't have the money to pay me. The Lord says, let them go. Let them get this month for free. When you are operating with Christ at the center of all that you're doing, there is not a thing that you're going to need. He's always going to supply, and he's always going to multiply the things that you're doing.
Jesus Christ, Leslie, I didn't think it was going to get that deep, man. Jesus.
Yeah, I didn't think
Oh,
it was either.
wow, wow. But I think that's super, super powerful. All right. So let's what's the hardest truth you've ever had to tell a client, Leslie, and how did it change their life?
The hardest truth I had to tell a client.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, so hardest truth I had to tell a client. I tell clients all the time, hard truths all the time. They're not a good fit for what we're doing. And the reason why is because I'd rather you know where you need to be in order to go from 1 to 50 million rather than lie to you about who I can help you. And then we get into this whole issue and argument about, you know, that you're not happy because your happiness is going to be is going to be based on the results we're able to get you. The results we're able to get you is based on your budget. Your budget is based on your mind. Because if someone says they can't afford it, there's nothing I can do to help you. But if someone says, I need to afford this, I want to afford this, I would like to be in a position to afford this, then this is somebody who understands the power of God. And this is someone who understands what can be done on their behalf. So now what I always tell people is this: it's not a matter of whether or not you can afford it. It's a matter of whether or not you want the results. Because even Christ said, what would you like me to do for you? He never went up to someone who didn't want to be healed and said, oh, healed, up, healed. No, people came to him and said, can you? You know, two blind men walked up to him and said, Jesus Christ, I mean, have mercy on us. And he still asked them, what do you want me to do for you? So the question is, what do you want us to do for you? And this is a good question that we ask people. How can we help you? If all goes well, what does that look like for you? And you'll be surprised that some businesses can't even answer that. What? Huh? And so, you know, a perfect example, here's another one. You want results. So what is going to be the number one indicator that we got you results, Rory?
New clients, sales, revenue,
Well, not
uh,
just sales, because
profit.
well,
You
yeah,
tell me,
which is
my
based
friend.
on
Um,
which is based on ROI, right?
yes.
Return on your investment. That's the number one way to know if what you're spent your money on is worth it. Because if you spent 100 grand with me and I got you 5 clients, I said, oh, I got you clients. You got clients. You spent 100 grand with me. I got you landscaping clients, buddy. What are you mad for? No, right? It's the ROI. And so um, you'll be surprised that small businesses won't even be able to do an ROI calculator with me. If you can't do an ROI calculator with me, which is 4 things I need to know, right? We can't do business together. And that's hard for people to hear. And so they'll fight and say, no, 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 please. Please, no, no, help me. No, I really need your help. And I have to be honest with them and say, hey, I'll be more than happy to help you. I'll be more than happy to help you, but I cannot be your service provider because in order for us to be able to help you, there are certain things that you have to understand. And if you resist, then you're only resisting your ability to win. And we'd rather not work with you than have someone that resists.
All right. Leslie, before we go into a bit of fun, three fun questions before the end here.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
people that have made it this far, okay, who've stuck into the end, they've got their cash out, like they're like, I'm done, I've heard enough, like, take my money. What have you got for them right now?
What do I have for them right now
Yeah.
in terms of our offerings?
Is there an offer? Is there something to just get them to just to say, like, just take the last bit of worry away,
Yeah.
the guarantee or something, or I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. So when you decide to work with us, your business is going to grow. And so does your confidence. When you have a system that consistently delivers leads, customers, and peace of mind, um, you'll be you'll be very happy. And on top of that, waiting is actually costing you more opportunities than you think. And your competitors, they're not waiting. And so the first step for you to take is let's have a conversation, right? You can visit our website, book a call with us, call me directly so we can see how we can put a plan together that's tailored specifically for you. Our plans are very transparent. If you go to our site, our pricing for everything is laid out, very easy to understand. But if there's anything that you need help with, be more than happy to reach out to us. We'll be there to help. Our advice is 100% free.
All right, Leslie, let's cap it off with three little fun bits because this got a little bit deep and heavy, but I think this has been powerful. Okay. If your
Good.
marketing agency had a theme song, what would it be and what vibe would it set for your clients?
Let me see. Let me see. What did I say? Oh, I think I remember. Okay, so you know the song by Journey, "Don't Stop Believing"?
I do.
Don't stop believing, right? Yeah, I think that's a big one for me. It tells me a lot about who I'm dealing with. If they're jury, then it's not going to work out because we like winners and we stick. And even if you need a little boost, we'll give you a boost. But there's just some people who really just they don't believe. There's two types of people: people who are failed to win, people who are afraid to win, and people who are afraid to fail. You're going to be one of them. The people who are afraid to fail, they win. But the people who are afraid to win, they fail.
What's the funniest misunderstanding someone had about what you do, and how did you clear it up?
Oh, I get into a lot of these misunderstandings with terminology, right? SEO, search engine optimization, SEM, search engine marketing, SMM, social media marketing. So a lot of times you have to be very clear with how you're clarifying and how you speak to people. So one time this guy thought SEO stood for like something everyone offers. I'm like, no, it's not what it stands for. It was pretty hilarious, but we explained it and he caught on pretty quickly.
All right, my brother. And finally, if your journey as a marketer were a Netflix series, what would it be called? And would it be a cutthroat thriller or an inspiring underdog story?
I'm gonna have to name mine the Growth Whisperer. I mean, think about it. The Genius Growth System. A mix of like I would think it'd be like a mix of an underdog story with like a practical inspiration for like business owners who want to level up, you know, one of those type of stories there. They meet a guy like me. This is how I do it. This is how I do it.
I like that, man. The Growth Whisperer. So there you have it,
The
folks.
growth whisperer.
There you have it, folks. My friend Leslie, the Growth Whisperer. Right. Okay. Um, for you guys that have stayed to the end, if you got value from this post and you need to get in touch with Leslie, his contact details are in the description below. Very easy to find him on Facebook. You can reach out to me. You can do whatever you need to do, but whatever you don't do, make sure you do marketing for your business, yeah? Because if you don't, and I'll second to that, make sure you get good, powerful people around you, right, on your journey, okay? You can't do it alone. This is what this channel's for, so you can choose. Um, if you got something out of this video, please share it far and wide. Subscribe to the channel. And let's put it out there, guys, because at the end of the day, this is the 50 Entrepreneurs in 50 Days Abundance Mission. We want to free people from the matrix. We want to get them out of the grind, and we want to up level humanity together. So thank you for watching, and all the best.
Peace.